All right, everybody. We are back. It is part 2 of episode 22. That's 3 2s, 222 of ZK Live. We have been talking about elevating the overall branding of our trade as painters. I think it could be a lot better. We've talked about saving a ton of money on concentrates versus buying diluted products and materials. What else have we talked about? Timelines, deadlines. We've talked about who's a better painter, me or Phil. It looks like it's frozen on me. So I don't know if it's even recording. Oh, it just froze on me. Hope you guys got all that. So yeah, we've been talking about some good stuff. I think we're going to not go for another hour here. We're going to keep it short. But I have a few more questions to answer. Oh, maybe I don't have a few more questions. Maybe I should sign off. What does everybody think? Does anybody have any questions? What happened last week? Does anybody know? So last week we had 2 deadlines that we were able to meet. One of them took an act of God, literally. It didn't rain when it was projected to rain. These 2 big storm clouds came right by our job site, and just like both of them went right by. And we were able to keep painting all day long, even though there was like an 80% chance of rain. Dark Sky. If you guys don't use Dark Sky, oh man, you're missing out. Best weather app out there. It's so freaking accurate to like the address that you're at. So thanks to Dark Sky, we were able to keep working. And because it didn't rain, but we were able to know it wasn't going to rain. And the Shoreline team crushed this exterior. It was a huge exterior, and they got it done with I think it was like 6 actual work days. And they got I can't even tell you how many hundreds of man days the project was, but it's a lot. So we got that job done just in time. What are some things you're working on for the next 3 months for your business? We're trying to work on getting this YouTube channel going where we're really creating content. I'm trying to kick my coverage in a way. I'm trying to build my sales and marketing up like even stronger. Like I continue to double down on social media and on marketing, because I just think that that's the answer right now for my company. So, like, honestly, we have some big jobs lined up. The guys are crushing on them, and I'm able to spend some time creating content. We have the booth this week. I believe Tuesday, the makeup air unit gets delivered, and I think he said either by Friday it'll be set up or they're coming in on Friday. I can't remember. I think by Friday the makeup air unit is going to be installed on the booth. So we were going to be streamlining our shop process that much more. We're going to be figuring out our makeup air unit. We're going to be baking on our coatings, and we're going to be marketing the heck out of the fact that we can bake our coatings on. So yeah, that's really the big push is going to be continuing to develop the relationships with the right type of clients, building the sales and marketing engine, because now I have the ability to sub work to Shoreline when I need to. But I'm not looking to add more than 8, maybe 9 painters. I have one person that I do want to bring on only for Boston work, and so I may be bringing her on, and so she would be our 9th. But yeah, mostly what I'm focused on is sales and marketing, to be honest. Like, my team, they're crushing it. They're getting better on their own. Like, they don't need me to do that. And so, do I pay for advertising? No, I don't pay for advertising. Yeah, I've thought about the doors thing, because the tough thing is like shipping them back. Like, the shipping on them of the whole thing is we were talking with actually a company in the UK about doing, like, I forget how many gloss doors they needed done. It fell through, but yeah, I really do want to be able to like crank entry doors. I have a couple of big entry doors coming up. Very high profile entry door on Beacon Hill that should sort of be a domino to a number of other high profile projects. Somebody asks about how can you get to know what the chemists know? Dan is, everyone should follow Dan down here, Dan Schaffner. Dan is an absolute gangster. I'm going to tell you about how much I like Dan in a minute. But Dan says, to get a footing with chemists, learn your solvents and read Understanding Wood Finishing. The idea is to know what questions to ask. I wonder if I have that book. I'm not going to stop. I think I have that book over here, or it's at my shop, Understanding Wood Finishing. It's a great book. I think Dan is 100% right. You study the solvents first, and when you can start there, and I don't know, like, just keep talking about paint with smart people all the time. I feel like that's like the best way. It's about your network. It's like developing a network of people that are into this kind of stuff is huge. Developing relationships with people at those companies that make coatings. Let me tell you guys a story about Dan and how Dan is the man. So we just sold a project. I'm pretty sure actually we did. We just sold a very big project for us. It's very big. It's two large rooms, all new mahogany panels. It's like, God, I can't even tell you. It's got to be well over six figures just in the wood on these two rooms. It's real mahogany and it's solid panels. But the client came to us and they were like, I don't think you can listen to that, Bresson. I highly doubt it. Oh, Dan, you're hilarious. His finish is blushing. That's a little paint coatings nerd talk right there. But anyway, let's get back to the story. So a guy I've been trying to get in to do work for years, who, like, I've sent messages to with no response on Instagram. I just, like, known he exists. He does really high-end woodworking. I've had people that know him. I've said, put a word in for me, and nothing. Well, finally, this is why you got to keep grinding and have patience. Years after this began of trying to do some work with this guy, I get a call from him, and he says, like, he says, like, something like, hey, I've heard from a bunch of people I should be talking to you. And I was like, oh, really? I've been trying to talk to you for a long time. This is great. And he's like, well, I have a big project on a short timeline, like always, that we need to get done. And he tells me about it, and he's like, we need 4 coats of tung oil applied to these 2 mahogany rooms. I'm like, all right, we got you, no problem. So I go down to meet with the client and the designer and the architect. And we're walking through, and they tell me their plan, and we look at, so to be incredibly thorough, this woodworker who's really good at what he does, coated all of the panels in 1 coat of tung oil before they put them up, right? Because it's like paneling on a wall, just like a door. It's a freestanding panel that moves. So to be thorough as it moved, expanded, and contracted, they coated the panel on all sides so that if it did move, you wouldn't see an uncoated edge. Awesome. Except for tung oil was not the ideal coating for this situation. So the architect had spec'd tung oil because they had used it on the other part of this project, on one of the other houses on the property, and they liked it. But it's not the fit. They wanted this room to feel differently, so it was not a good fit for this room. They told me, like, we want this room. They showed me a picture from one of the mansions in Newport. They're like, this is the look that we want. We want it to be as light as possible. We don't want it to be too dark, like suffocating mahogany. We want it to be like light and bright, but we want it to be golden brown. And I said, well, that sounds awesome, but this tung oil that you have over here, it was making the wood like neon red and orange, like this mahogany, it was real mahogany. And so these panels and this one built-in that they had already coated with some tung oil were like fire red mahogany. And, you know, personally, I didn't think it looked very good, but it's not my job to say whether it looks good or not. I'm just like, do you like how it looks? So luckily, I was able to we was a 2.5 hour meeting with the architect and the designer and the client with what started out with like conflicting desires that I had to like weed through to get to like what are we actually trying to get to. So after about 2.5 hours, I felt like I had a really good grasp on the project, what we needed to get done, and I was able to go to the woodworker and get some panels that had the tung oil on them. Now the tung oil's been on there for like 60 days, 90 days, so it's pretty well dried. But tung oil, it's an oil, it just dove into this wood. So long story short, we have to sand all of the panels on this project to a fresh layer of wood to get the tung oil off, which is not going to be a small amount of sanding. Let's put it that way. It's extensive. There's probably 80 1x2 panels, raised panels that need to be sanded. Like even the details, everything have to be sanded all the way down through mahogany, hardwood to get to a fresh layer. It's going to be a project. So, but anyway, I have this panel. Now, the number one desire for this client is timeline. It's timeline. That's all they care about. They're a year behind schedule. It is a multi-million dollar build. It is a gorgeous home and with amazing finish. There's over $1 million worth of millwork in this house. It's crazy. So all they care about is timeline, which is why Phil won't be working on this job, because the timeline we could never meet. But my boy Shoreline has got an army of people, so we can team up. But they describe what they want, and I'm able to get it must have been like a Thursday or something. I forget what it was. But like a few days went by. Let's say 4 days went by. I was making calls to people trying to figure out, how do I cancel out the reds? Do we use a shellac with some green pigment to balance out the reds? Blah, 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 blah. Right? And I get a call, and they're like, yo, I heard that there's another finisher that walked the project, but you better get some samples here quick. And I'm like, oh, crap. No, I don't want to lose this amazing job. So my friend Dan, who was already working on a sample for us, I messaged Dan through Instagram because I saw he was a finisher in my area. So I called up Dan, and I was like, Dan, I need your help. So Dan drove to my shop on a Monday, picked up the sample at like 1:30 in the afternoon. It was a panel, and delivered me back a sample that the client, who was not a client that's going to give praise. Like, these are not the kind of people like, oh my God, this is awesome. Not that kind of people. Who multiple times were just like, wow, this is really impressive. This is a really impressive sample, which was saying a ton. So Dan is the man. In a 24-hour period, and you guys got to see the schedule on this. He sanded down the panel to bare wood. He vinyl sealed it. He used a oil-based wiping stain, all with thoughts of how are we going to do this at scale and fast, right? There was a lot of parameters here, and the look. So we seal the surface, because now when we apply an oil-based wiping stain, it won't lap. It'll be more forgiving for shading, because it'll be over a sealed surface. We're going to wipe on our oil-based stain. We're then going to seal it again. We're then going to wipe on our glaze. We're going to seal it again after that. And then we're going to top coat it. And this piece of mahogany looks so good. It was exactly what they wanted. So that's my shout out to Dan. You guys should all follow Dan. Dan is a huge coatings nerd as well. He's been in the business for a long time. He knows his stuff. He's been posting all these like vintage videos lately. I'm a big fan of Dan. I'm a big fan of reaching out to people in your area, whether in your area or not, but in your area is a plus, because then you can meet them in real life. I happened to see Dan he made a comment on some post that I was looking at, and I just like, oh, that's a smart comment. Let me see who that is. And sure enough, he's in New London, Connecticut. So then I was like, oh, let me send this guy a message. Right? That's what Instagram is for. If you're not reaching out and making connections and developing connections with people in your network, in your area, you're missing out, man. I don't know. That's where I've gotten all the value I've gotten out of Instagram. Most of it has come from being proactive. Last week I sent out 7 or 8 DMs to builders and designers that I really want to work with. I may or may not have copy and pasted that message. I'll be honest. I did copy and paste a message to a few builders with some tweaks to it. But if you want to see that message, send me a DM and I'll send it to you, what I send them. And I got a response from one so far, and I'm calling the office Monday to talk to their project managers. But there's a lot of power in this platform and reaching out and making connections in real life. Don't forget, the real life part of this is what it's all about. How are you going to make money in your area doing work? You can have friends all over the country. That's awesome. But what connections are you making in your network locally that are going to benefit you financially and your business, which will benefit you financially, right? We're here for financial reasons, right? This is, I love painting, but would I be running this paint company if I was worth $1 billion? I don't know. It would be a very different paint company. Let's put it that way. But I don't think I just think that it's valuable to, in business, the reason I'm in business is because I add value to people. And other people are in business because they add value to people. So Dan and I were able to develop and are developing a business relationship where we can add value to each other. And that's true for the builders that I meet on Instagram. That's true for the employees I meet on Instagram. That's true for the clients I meet on Instagram. They're able to add value to my life. I'm able to add value to their life. Hopefully I add more than I take. That's the name of the game, which we talk about on here a lot. But I'm not sure if people suffer from this. I used to a long time ago. I no longer do it at all. Well, let's not say at all. That's not true. But I think that as humans, we suck at rejection, taking rejection. It's a painful thing. Guys are better than girls at this, based off of dating for the most part. It's a big generality, but we get, generally I think men are better at taking rejection. We just get rejected a lot more than women do, just volume wise, I think. But being comfortable with rejection, outright rejection, which I think is very, very rare. Most of the time when people don't get back to you or they go a different route, it's not personal. A bunch of other things happen. So not taking things personal is huge, right? If I don't get responses from half those builders, I'm going to send a follow-up in 3 months. I'm not going to take it personally they didn't get back to me. Those guys are running big companies. They're busy people. I'm just some dude asking if I can connect with them because I think I know I can add value to them. But I get that they have a lot going on in their lives. And so if they don't respond to one of my messages, what do I care? It's not a reflection on me. Because a bunch of things that I don't know are happening or at play. So you definitely get desensitized. So send DMs to people. Craft them in a way that you have to be careful with how you craft them too. You have to understand what it might be like. Try to understand what it might be like to be the person that you're sending the message to. Bosses, owners of companies and bosses, they do not want to hear how this relationship working with me as the boss is going to be good for you. As a boss, owners and companies, that they don't care what it's going to be like for you. Oh, it would be a really great opportunity for me. I would really love the opportunity to be huge for my company to get to come work for you. What do I care about your company? I'm trying to run my company. I have a big company to run, right? That's what this big GC's thinking. He's got a lot. So I don't reach out to him and go, oh my God, what an honor it would be to get to work with you, Mr. Awesome Guy. No, it's hey, I think I can add a lot of value to your life. Here's what we do. We do this. This is why we do it. These are our competitive advantages. And I would love to be able to discuss how I can add value to you. That is a very different direct message than, oh man, can I please work with you? You'd be so cool. Or just the straight up ask. yes, like John said, be helpful. Like, make it easy to do business with me, and like give more than you take. And if you take that mindset, I think it's a lot easier to develop connections than if you take this, like, I don't know. I get some messages from some people sometimes, and I don't get angry often, but I have to like fight anger. And because it's just like, this person has no idea. It's offensive to come at me with some of these, the way some people pose their asks. They're just entitled and just like, oh man, it's gross. You have to think about who are you talking to before you ask for something. And don't ask, give. Talk about how you can give. I don't know. It's late. I could just keep rambling. I feel like my wife just sent me a text message. Oh. I think I should get off. Don't you guys? Anybody else have any questions? Any other topics that we should talk about before I go to bed? Got a big morning tomorrow. Meeting the videographer from PCA. We're going to start. We're gonna get going, man. I gotta get my face and my company's face on YouTube in a professional manner. We've been slacking so badly. I'm so comfortable with like Instagram. TikTok is the easiest freaking thing in the world. Oh my God. This is a Lululemon polo. Highly recommend them. They're not cheap, but man, they're so comfortable. They're sweat wicking. They're beautiful. I bought like 4 different colors to figure out which one I'm going to get logoed up. And these are going to be my like shirts that are going to be logoed up with the brand right here. But yeah, I never, Lululemon, think whatever you want about it, but you get what you pay for with polos. That's kind of what it came down to for me. I would say I probably bought, 5 to 7 different types of branded polo shirts in the course of my company. The best ones I ever found were I went and got Nike golf polos and I had them lettered up. He just said, dang, I have the same color on right now, but not Lululemon. Well, dude, get yourself a Lululemon polo and you'll feel like $1 million. I like fancy stuff, though. Like, I like nice clothes. And these shirts, I just feel confident in them. For me, they're worth the price. So back to that, I've had, if you go to like the place where you get your shirts lettered, thank God, I have a new one. Send me a DM if you're looking for somebody to get you shirts. My girl at Otroway was amazing. I'll tell you about that experience, actually, because I've had I was having some really, really frustrating experiences with my t-shirt people. And I try to go elsewhere, and then I try to go back and give them one more chance because they're a local small business, and I've been with them for a long time, and they just let me down. But I've had a lot of polos that were very low quality with floppy collars, and I don't know, they just really crappy polos they still weren't cheap, and then you're getting them lettered up and you look like a dope in this freaking polo. Instead, I just decided, like, you know what, just get a nice polo and I'm gonna have them lettered up, one that I know fits, because it's just too many times. So my t-shirt person, I just bought the largest order of t-shirts I've ever experienced. I never thought I'd spend that much money on t-shirts, but I did. And I'm glad I did. But here's what I'm most glad about. They sent me full-scale mock-ups. You know what I mean? They sent me 3 because the color wasn't right 3 times. 3 times. But it didn't matter because they sent me a mock-up. And then the color wasn't right. And I was able to go, that's not navy, that's royal blue. Send me another mock-up. Okay, hey, that's closer to navy, but that's still not navy. And the logo is too high up on the shoulder. Can you lower the logo down on the shoulder? Yeah. But the point is, I never had a full-scale mock-up of my t-shirts, from the company that I was buying from locally. It was an act of God to get a shirt from them anyway. They were so ridiculous. They wouldn't. I I find the last straw. No, actually, the second to last straw. What I thought was going to be the last straw, and I gave him one more chance. This is a local small business, right? Competing with how many online T-shirt sellers there are that can give you cheaper pricing tomorrow and get you to them in 2 days. That I didn't go to because I wanted to go local, and I knew this girl, and she got me my first shirts when I first ever started. And then she started her own company. They called me. Let's say it was 4:20. No, I think it was. Let's say it was 4:30 on a Thursday or a Friday. I think it wasn't a Friday. It was like a Thursday. They called me 4:30. Hey, your T-shirts are ready. Awesome. I'm 35 minutes away. I'll be there at 5:05 to pick them up. Oh, sorry, we close at 5. What? Okay, can you just wait 5 minutes for me? I'm really excited. Like my new shirts are in. Like, I'm gonna go get them. Oh no, sorry, we close at 5. We all leave at 5. I was stunned. This is a local small business who I just bought probably $500 worth of shirts from, and they wouldn't stay 5 minutes after closing so I could pick up shirts. So I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm never buying shirts from these people again. This is unbelievable. Well, then they have all my art for my shirts, and I, out of desperation, time was of the essence, and I needed to get more shirts, and I went one more time. And I never should have done it. Respect the boundaries. I went back one more time, and I already had a chip on my shoulder, and I went back, and I ordered shirts. I said, I want exactly what you gave me last time. Can you do that? Yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Order the shirts. I go pick them up. Again, it's royal blue instead of navy blue. And I'm like, am I missing something here? There's an entire box of shirts here that are the wrong color. The logo. They're gray shirts, but they have the logo. And it's royal blue. Now, the owner was on maternity leave, but she had the kid like 2 months earlier. So she's at home with the two-month-old. And I'm like, this is not acceptable. They want me to pay for these. And I'm like, this is the same navy ink that we used before. I'm like, 100% it's not. I went and got him a shirt. I put the shirt next to him. Like, these are 2 different colors. What are we talking about? So, and they insisted. And finally they were like, okay, I think I ended up just leaving, and like they wanted me to pay for them. So, yeah, okay. So eventually they ended up giving me the shirts for free and then making me new ones or something. But at that point, I did that, and then from that point on, I was like, there's nothing in the world that will ever make me go back to these people. So there's someone in my BNI, Amanda, and she owns Otra Way, at Otra Way on Instagram. Customer service could not be more polar opposite of this experience I had with the other company. Her customer service is annoying. It's so good. Honestly, I haven't told her this. Hope she's not watching. Her customer service is so good that I get annoyed with all of the touch points when she's checking in and she's communicating and over communicating, which is way better than the other way around. I get annoyed sometimes, so it's fine. When working with her, she's been so good, and so she got me the coins, the ZK logo coins. I had been talking to a metal guy locally for months. Guy would not call me back for it. It was insane. And finally, I'm like, can you give me coins? Oh yeah, I'll give you coins. I had renderings out in a week. I had then full scale mock-ups again in 4 different types of metal. And then we ordered them. It was phenomenal. So I highly recommend Otra Way for all of your t-shirts. She can work remotely. She sends you send her the logo, she sends you the t-shirt. It's a great mock-up. I got some really comfy t-shirts. We got long sleeves, and we got the coins. But customer service, like she says, she tells me what's happening. She goes above and beyond. She's over communicating. There's samples of everything before I get my order. It's just like painting. We should all be like Amanda from Otra Way. Yes, you want the goods. I don't want. Jake said that's the worst. I don't want messed up junk for free. I want the goods for an honest price. 100%. I would much rather pay for what I ordered than you give me for free something I didn't order. Because this doesn't look professional. When half the guys on the job site, we've all seen this with companies, half the guys on the job site have one color shirt and the other half have a slightly different version that clearly came out at a different time. It's just not as professional. I didn't like it. So now we have Amanda from Otraway, and we have all of our shirts that are going to be exactly the same, long sleeve and short sleeve, with the Fine Paints of Europe Master Certified logo on the side for that extra money. It was tough to do it, but I'm glad we did it. We have nice canvas. I think it's the brand canvas, like mixed blend t-shirts. They're comfy, and I'm gonna just keep ordering from her. And she sent me a couple sweatshirts to try. I didn't really like either of them. We're gonna keep trying sweatshirts, but it's that customer service, just like what we do. She gave me actual samples. It's huge. Yes, Brunga at Otraway. O-T-R-A way means other way. She's originally from South America, so she named her company Otraway. Her customer service is off the chain, and when I should make a post about it. Thumb holes on the hoodies. What do we look like? We're freaking 15-year-old kids. No thumb hole on the hoodies. Although Arturo did an awesome thing on our hoodies, and he put a zipper down the front of the hoodie because he didn't like pulling it over his head. So when I do get the next round, Arturo's going to get zip ups because he doesn't like over the head hoodies. That's the toughest. The toughest thing is the next step is getting the hoodies and the warm clothes, because it just costs so much more. And with 8 people now, I got to figure something out. We got to make some money as a company so we can afford to have real nice outdoor gear. Brunga, it is O-T-R-A. I'll just put it here. I probably will forget. So it's at Otraway. Boom. Tell Amanda I sent you. Her customer service is, God, it's phenomenal, actually. Don't order from Italy. No, they don't pay for their uniforms. I might look at finding a way to split the cost of outdoor gear, like the warm stuff. Because at this point right now, I'm just not sure. Need that iPhone wire hole. Now the sweatshirts that they've always been tough too to find a good sweatshirt. It's like the polos. It's all tough, and most of my local company would never show me an actual full-scale mock-up. They wouldn't even show me half the time they didn't have the actual shirt in stock to show me even a blank shirt. Wait, by 2 sets, does that mean 10 shirts? So we give everybody 5. I give everybody 5 shirts. I think maybe more, but they all get at least 5, so that they don't have to do laundry midweek. That's my thinking. 2 days. Then you're making you guys do laundry midweek, bro. That's asking a lot. I just think it's. But hey, what am I? It's your. You know what you're doing. But I think. What are you giving your guys polos and hoodies? Dang. I don't know what I'm talking about. We should talk about it sometime. Brunga, can you just write that down? Maybe I can pin that. I'm gonna pin the comment I just made. Can I do that? Pin comment. Boom, look at that. Oh, I'm so professional with these lives now. I'm just pinning comments down here. At Otraway. Her name is Amanda Matola. You can just call her Amanda, I'm sure. It only takes 1 hour to do a load of laundry, said my mom. Mom, I don't do laundry for weeks. Well, you know that. I got to get this laundry service down. We've been talking about doing it forever, and I just never have signed on. I need a laundry service. Good for you, B Palms. Yeah, getting a good logo is key. It's not that key, actually. Just getting a legible logo is huge. All right, good. My man, Brunga. Talk to Amanda. I think you're going to be amazing. Wear it once and throw it away. Oh, man. We actually have a family member that did something similar to that. Mom, Dan is talking crap over here. He said that laundry takes over 2 hours. He measured. Oh, man. I have to go down 2 flights of stairs to my basement to do laundry, guys. I'm telling you, that is tough. Tough work. I'm notoriously horrible at taking care of my house. Everyone thinks like, oh, your house must be like so neat and organized. All your work is so neat and organized. Anyone that knows me knows that that's not the truth, unfortunately. And my wife and I go back and forth about having a cleaning lady, and the joys and then the drawbacks of that. But then with COVID, it's off the table. But I think it's only fair that they don't have to. We ask a lot from the guys, and if they have to go home and do laundry at night, midweek, so they have enough clothes to wear for the week, that's too much for me. That's a bigger ask than I'm willing to make. Yeah, you got to have laundry room on the same floor as the bedrooms. Mom, you're also the toughest lady I know. So, no wonder. But my mom said her washer and her dryer are half an hour each, and it's only 1 flight of stairs to the basement, but she can hack it. I got my strength from my mom. She's a gangster. She did all my laundry for all my life. I never got good at it. I just finished doing a bunch of laundry last weekend. But it's not my favorite thing to do. Actually, I don't mind laundry that much. It's the dishes, man. The dishes get me. All right, guys. I got to sign off. I'm talking about laundry and dishes right now. Hope everybody has a great week. Yeah, my mom is awesome. Watching IG Live. The other day, I'm going to throw her under the bus. The other day, she was watching the live, but she was watching it on IGTV, and she didn't know it wasn't live. And she commented, she answered a question that I had. Don't wear whites. We wear our stripes, and it's made it easier. I don't really know, Bresson. But my mom was watching an IG Live, and she commented thinking it was live, but it was in IGTV, which I think is hysterical. Mom, I love you. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys are liking these Sunday monologues. They're easier for me to do. There's just less stress. I got a big boy. Oh, man. The guy who's the guest we have Tuesday is a very, very high-end, very high-quality, unbelievable architect that I have a ton of respect for. He's a beast. David Andriozzi. Check out Andriozzi Architecture. Some of the stuff they design and build, my God, he's next level. And I cannot believe that he agreed to join me on this show, but he did, and I'm super honored. And I'm going to be doing all of my homework to have good questions for David. I've met him a couple times. We share a client. We actually didn't end up doing. I've never done any work on a project that David designed and built. I've done work on one of the homes that he has built afterwards. His design is unbelievable. He's just an awesome guy. I'm so excited to have him on the show. So Tuesday, you guys have some questions ready for a high-end architect. I'm really excited. I'm definitely a little nervous for this. But again, thanks for watching. These monologues are good. If you like them, you guys can all do me a huge favor and go on iTunes and rate us and leave me a comment. I wrote my first comment because I'm a loser. Hide it. Bury that comment down with a bunch of other comments from actually people who watch this stuff. I know. I got to be better at that. Question number 1, form over function. Oh boy, let's get them started. Yes, do me a favor. Go on iTunes and give me a 5-star rating, or give me whatever rating you think I deserve, and write something. Tell me about what you like about this podcast, what you don't like about this podcast. Give me some feedback. It would be huge for me, because I'm kind of just doing this with, like, it's a monologue without a lot of feedback. So the more feedback, the better. Thanks again, guys.